This is an important moment for Michigan. It's one calling for the utmost in clarity. And we are faced with two options. Stand strong for the needs of the citizens, ones that have twice asked this legislature through their representatives and senators, and now are asking us through this legislative petition. Do we stand with them, or do we stand with those who desire to lord over the few who have asked for it? The opposition here attempts to mask the maliciousness of their work by simply claiming they desire a statewide vote about whether wolves are managed using all tools, including hunting. But they are highly deceitful, as their only desire is to see no management of the wolf at all. And ultimately, they are striving to end hunting, a mission they have readily pursued and discussed, except in a context with this particular issue. And I'm not speaking necessarily of members here in this body pursuing that. I'm talking about the folks that bankrolled most of those petitions in the referenda. This deception has been going on for years as they've participated in the Wolf Management Roundtable, first by consent, accepting hunting as a possible means for controlling the population should the wolf ever be delisted. Then they fought the delisting of the wolf, tooth and nail, for years, even though the population of wolves in the UP has exceeded the necessary recovery level over 3 times. Subsequent to its delisting, they have fought every legislative and commission discussion for proper management of the wolf. And twice they've gathered and paid for signatures to thwart the people of Michigan who enacted legislation constitutionally through their elected representatives. During this time, they have repeatedly offered comments on how Upper Peninsula residents should not be allowed to make this determination for themselves. Some even demanded that we move out of the UP. Or, just adapt. You'll figure it out. Let's adapt your way of living so that their interpretation of proper management could rule the day. And I want to add, there was one of the earlier speakers said, well, they had to collect almost 1 million signatures. Well, that's baloney. And they know it because the same people who signed the first petition for referendum signed the second petition for referendum. More people have signed this initiative that we have before us today than have signed up for the referendum repeal. Many will claim today that power has been abused, and they're right. Those who vote no today are abusing their power. They abuse it by disregarding sound policy that's entirely in line with legislation adopted by the people of this state in Proposal G. They abuse it by acquiescing to forces that unabashedly have demanded enfranchisement for their paid signatures while discounting the very disenfranchisement they seek to enforce on 3% of the population that has 100% of the problem. They abuse it by disregarding their duty to answer the petition of the people as the Constitution of this state says, saying any law proposed by initiative petition shall either be enacted or rejected by the legislature without change or amendment within 40 days from the time such a petition is received by the legislature. Instead, the opposition has been calling for ignoring the people that sent the petition and sending it to the ballot, glossing it over with platitudes of let the people vote, when what they really want is for it to fail there too. And they'll certainly be active in advocating for the failure of it at the ballot too. The reason these initiatives go to the ballot, after all, is to safeguard against a non-responsive legislature. The safeguard against a radical petition, on the other hand, is the legislative right to offer a counter-proposal. But has the opposition come forward with a counter-proposal today? Perhaps maybe we could trap all the wolves in the UP and share some of them with you all down here. Let's let them run free for the whole state. Then we can all enjoy the benefits. No. Instead, they want to see the measure fail altogether and to see just one animal left unmanaged without the necessary tools that all good wildlife management has depended on for decades. And the reason the 2 referenda haven't come before this body, as a previous speaker said should have happened, is because that's not constitutional. Referenda don't come before this body. And as far as the 3% for the Court of Appeals argument, is complete nonsense, because 3% of the people electing the court versus 100% of the people elected us here today. We are representing 100% of this state. Now for a little myth busting. Somebody else mentioned facts earlier, Mr. Speaker. Because the aura surrounding the wolf has grown to epic proportions. It's like Santa Claus. First, there's not one study available to any scientist or expert that I've been able to get in contact that backs up the rumor that killing a pack leader leads to runaway packs or mass chaos in the countryside with the wolves that are left behind. It's complete bunk. The usual life expectancy of a Michigan wolf is about 5 years, and wolves aren't even fully mature till they're 2 years old. There's obviously a frequent turnover rate in the pack leadership. And also, we've already, in over a decade now, taken 100 wolves in Michigan. We don't have mass chaos running around with this like they predicted would happen. And we don't have that happening in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Montana, that have had regular wolf hunts for some time now. Secondly, many argue that just giving farmers the ability to shoot problem wolves will solve the problem. This is arguably one of the most insulting assumptions, because just as our common deer management problem in this state is that it relies on farmers to take care of public property at their own expense, people are attempting to hide the recognition of the problem with an impossible solution and placing the blame on the people who aren't responsible for the problem in the first place. Practically, it's also an impossible solution, unless farmers can station armed guards on 24-hour duty around pastures and barnyards that can be more than 10 miles in perimeter. Examine one of the articles I placed on your desks. It mentions how a farmer Holmes up in my district has lost 5 animals. Oh, wait, 3. 2, we're not sure what happened to them. Wolves took the other ones, though, before he finally even got a chance to shoot the wolf, one of the wolves that was taken from his herd. This just happened. I've got another farmer who was out doing crop damage shooting just a week ago. Shoots the doe, goes to get it. Wolf comes out of the woods, grabs it. It's videoed. This leads right to another frequently proffered cop-out that farmers are getting paid for their losses, so it shouldn't matter. First, this is only true on verified attacks. One farmer in my district had 10 verified attacks, but 4 that were listed as indeterminable. There isn't any compensation for indeterminables. Probably no penalty for shooting indeterminables either. The fallacy is so hurtful as it assumes livestock are nothing more to a farmer than 4-legged money that can be replaced like a $20 bill is replaced by 2 10s. But for many of us farmers, our animals are the reward of decades of hard work and investment, and they're our hope for tomorrow's herd. We invest thousands of dollars in raising, selective breeding, in advancing our herds. Like an expert artist at the canvas, we bring together the traits and heritages that we believe advances our herd, makes it stronger, more productive, and longer lasting. The destruction of these very personal and often very dear parts of our family's work cannot be simply replaced by throwing us the price of hamburger. Even if a farmer does buy a comparable animal, the loss of genetics, progeny, and production isn't compensated, and the replacement takes many months or years to adapt to its new home before it's productive. Finally, there's this myth that the Natural Resources Commission is not capable or legitimate to make the decisions. This is a ridiculous distraction. The Commission has operated under the charge of utilizing science for the management of game resources since the passage of Proposal G. Since that time, the wildlife across Michigan has seen unprecedented expansion and reinvigoration. If the Commission fails in its charge, it has to answer for that. It has to answer in court for not utilizing sound science. Not to mention doing nothing, which is what some would advocate we do, leaves the determinations in this body, which is most clearly the political body and most clearly not made up of somebody of any list of requirements when it comes to knowing science. Most importantly, though, Mr. Speaker, I come to you as a representative sent to you by the people of the Upper Peninsula. We need your help. I've placed another article in front of you today detailing the extent of the increases in wolf incidents. Detroit needed our help. Other parts of this state have needed our help. And there weren't enough members in this body from those areas to do it without the rest of us. We need your help. Our entire peninsula is being affected, and people's ways of life are being altered in a way that's adverse to our whole culture. We need your help. The folks opposing us will spare no expense in determining the future for the people of the Upper Peninsula. The people are looking to us to answer the call. The people who filled out this petition are looking to us, answer this call, so that sound science, a balanced management plan, and placing people first will be our vote today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.